Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for education and technology. So today I like to share with you something really critical for Wing Chun and traditional Chinese martial arts. So why do I want to share this? My intention to share this today is not to put down any people or any grandmaster, but to solve problem. If what I'm going to share with you today is not solved, Wing Chun is finished. Traditional Chinese martial art is finished. Yes, done, complete, gone. So is it that serious? It is. And I'm not joking, okay? I'm not here to talk bad or to put down people. But traditional Chinese martial art today have a serious problem. It is a disaster. Wing Chun the same. So where do we see this evidence that it's a disaster? You look at in China these few years, these 3 years, when Xi Xiaodong challenged the traditional Chinese martial arts. Even though Xi Xiaodong is saying that he is challenging the fake, okay? But you have to watch out. There are many followers of Xi Xiaodong, including those people who grandmaster in Santa. They are not helping traditional Chinese martial art to find a solution. They want to trash traditional Chinese martial arts. Okay? So you look at the action, you know it. When people do something to help, or people who want to trash the entire thing, like the cultural revolutions. Okay? You look at the cultural revolution. Because of political benefit of one person, they dare to screw the entire Chinese culture. Same mentality if you look at it. See, I support to uncover the fake. So something Xi Xiaodong have done, I support it too. But when it get into the cultural revolution type of stuff, then sorry, I'm not in that directions. See, in 1930s, people like grandmaster like Ma Li Tang and many people have already start a reform, a revolutions, which want to take out the mystical, the performance, like in the stage, or like in those oh, my style is better than your style, my grandmaster, so forth, those kind of stuff. So 1930, by record, you look at Grandmaster Ma Li Tang and his friends, group of people, try to do the reform. Well, of course, it doesn't success. If you look at today's movie, Kung Fu movie, it is exactly what the staff, Dr. Ma Li Tang and all those traditional Chinese martial arts grandmaster who want to throw out in 1930. But today, you brainwash with that, okay? And now you can see that in China, like these few days, you look at it, Xi Xiaodong is thinking he's right. Well, technically, Xi Xiaodong is right. But those internal guy, Tai Chi guy, never open his eyes and keeping one to going on keeping what they believe. Well, so this is an unended fighting. And of course, with the training of Xi Xiaodong and so forth, with today's modern training, Chinese martial art will be wiped off. Like weeks ago, somebody is attacking the Shaolin Sword Strike Classic. Sure, get really pissed. Have you ever read what is a Shaolin Sword Strike Classic? Not because of you are Xi Xiaodong's follower, you do that. Okay? And technically, I cannot say that anybody is right or wrong or something, but I will say that everybody is just don't open their mind, don't open their heart, and they do not provide a solution for traditional Chinese martial arts. It's just for oneself. And this channel, we look into culture. That's why we want to settle this thing up. Do you like it? When you see a culture vanish just because of some people who is selfish? You just look at those fans of Xi Xiaodong. How many people of them really know even Chinese culture? Those mainland fans of Xi Xiaodong. They were born what? After Cultural Revolution. So how much Chinese do they know? Same with Xi Xiaodong. Okay? So my point is very simple. You guys, Xi Xiaodong and Tai Chi guy, you want to fight whatever there's it. That's your problem. But leave traditional Chinese martial art alone. Okay? Who want to challenge who want to challenge who, that's not my business, and I don't care for that. The issue is that if you damage Chinese culture, no democratic, rational mind, educated people in the West will allow that happen. Okay? And so that's why I want to say this today. It needs to be get cleaned up, get straight up. If it's not, then you mark my words, there's no more. So today I'm not speaking as I'm a grandmaster, but I'm speaking as a researcher, like the academic scholar. Based on evidence, I show you this. Okay? So, what here I show you is Chinese culture mapped into today's sports science. Okay? The top athletes training and so forth, and the yoga research and so forth here. Okay? So let's go through it. What is traditional Chinese martial arts? Because we cannot keep saying that, oh, the fake, we want to beat the fake or uncover the fake Chinese martial art. 打假传武, okay? Well, 传武 or traditional Chinese martial art, do you know what the heck it is? And some today even say, oh, it's a fake traditional Chinese medicines. Do you know what the heck you're talking about, even you're Chinese? I'm American, but I know what the heck that is. It's not about style of martial art, it is not about country, it's not about politics, but it is about culture. Today I'll do the same if I'm in the position for Japanese culture, for Jew culture, for American culture, for European culture, for German culture. Because you want to do your business, that's your problem. But don't leave culture alone, okay? That's the bottom line. So if we map into the today's sports science, today's language, today's scientific language, what is traditional Chinese martial arts? Particularly, what is Shaolin martial art? Because Wing Chun is from Shaolin, right? Let's get it straight. In combat side, we know from 1560, General Qi Jiguang have already said it. The ultimate of fighting is impulse momentum handling, because fighting is impulse momentum exchanging. And this exchange is actually multi-dimensional. Yes, it is written clearly in General Qi Jiguang's writing. Multi-dimensional in today's language. Okay? Black and white for 450 years. So those Chinese who keeping saying that, oh, fake traditional Chinese martial, can you please make sure you know what the heck you're talking about before you open your mouth? This is 400 years old, 450 years old proof. Now, in order to play this impulse momentum games, General Qi Jiguang at that time reformed into a 3 fighting strategy realizations or implementations. Okay, so 3 fighting strategy is the basic fighting strategy, which is including long range, up and down, long range, and level and angle change. So the entire play of the impulse momentum handling is the handling the level, the range, and the angle. So that's why it's XYZ, 3-dimensional. Okay. Now, so the 3 fighting strategy is involved. One is a long range, like kick, long range, like our Western boxing, those kind of range. And then there's the mid strategy, which is close body, throw, stand in the knee stance, strike there. And then the lower strategy, which is going down to the ground. So this exists 450 years ago. And after that, the Chinese martial arts following those type of platform. And you can see in today in the Okinawan Bubishi have covered the basic of this 3 strategy in the Bubishi uniqueness way. Okay, but you can see that 3 strategy. So anybody want to handle this impulse momentum handling need to be proficient in the 3 fighting strategy. Okay, 3 fighting strategy. Now, in order to handle this 3 fighting strategy, there's 2 parts there. One part is proficiency in the fighting techniques, meaning you need to have experience and uniqueness. For example, Western boxing is very good in the long range strike. Thai boxing is very good in the long range strike. Kyokushin is very good in the low sweep, roll round horse kick. And it's not just a techniques, but proficient in playing in the 3 dimension, which is the range, the angle, and the level. That's called proficiency. So you involve a lot of training, a lot of experience, fighting experience there. While Qi Jiguang say you have to experience with it. Okay, in in this writing, it says you need to test it. But testing it not because of you want to bully somebody, you want to prove you are invincible, so forth, like today. Oh, because I beat somebody, then I beat the entire system. That's called nonsense. The mind is not clear, okay? So, you need to have that. You need to test out the art and sparring and all this every day. You practically have to live with it, okay? If you really professionally in this martial art, you better be 24 hours, even when you're asleep, you are thinking, you are experimenting this. That's what the ancient does. Okay? From morning to night, they just talking about martial art, this technique, that technique, this. Okay, how I'm gonna do this, can I get in, can I handle this range and all this kind of stuff, so that those are what it is. Okay? Another part to support this 3 fighting strategy is the functional training. Obviously, you have to go play in the 3 fighting strategy. You need to be able to handle all this movement, the 5 range of movement, from up to down, down to up. Otherwise, you cannot play. Okay? Now, within the functional training, there is muscular endurance training. There is cardiovascular endurance training. That is neuromuscular proficiency development. There are 3 things there. You look at General Qi Guang's army. The army is asked to use armor, heavy armor, to run, to carry heavier weapon than a real life weapon. Well, that is muscular endurance and cardio endurance. And you look at their training range, the level and range. That is one need to develop the neuromuscular proficiency. So one have to have this training. So if you want to have this, you want to be able to fight here, you need to have this, you need to have this, you need to have this and have this. That's traditional Chinese Kungfu or 传统武术 of China. Okay? In record. This is history. Okay? This is not somebody say, oh, my grandfather father is this, this grandfather is the invincible like in the movie and those. No. This is what it is. This is what in the military and what it is using in the real life 100 years ago, like as a bodyguard or as a how to say that, the security who carry the gold or the money from one location to other location. They need this because it's about life and death. If you're a bodyguard of the emperor, are you going to play crazy for that? If you are the guard of the emperor, are you going to train this way or you're not going to train this way? That is traditional Chinese martial art by records. That's why I wrote this book. Okay? Now, all of this is based on something called breathing. If you don't have a deep breathing, all bets off. You cannot even function properly. Breathing. Deep lower abs breathing. Okay? So again, in Shaolin Sword Strike, I translate you there the breathing. You got a breathing or not? So traditional Chinese martial arts, for combat, you need this. Without this, there is no traditional Chinese martial art, or you get only a partial of Chinese martial arts. Okay? Let's face the reality. Face the reality. Why? Because it comes to this when it runs to the edge already. Sorry, there's no face to be given. You need to see what is going on. As I always usually say, okay, you want to be grandmaster. You take care of your sifu, this grandmaster. Do you care for the entire culture? Do you care for the future generations? Do you want the entire thing to be wiped out and 50 years later nobody knows what the heck is going on? Is that fair for the ancient? Is fair for the future people? So this is the truth. You like it or not, this is the truth. You check in the old document of different style, you will see this. This is the common denominator in today's language. Okay? Now, in the breathing path, there is another path which is called the internal. And this is the common denominator. Once, if you develop this basic breathing, you can get into the deep rest state. And then one need to face a really serious gateway there. That is the mind-breathing synchronization. The Chinese call it 心喜相依. Unless one have handle on this, one will not be able to really solidly handle energy, channel, chakras, all those stuff. And only when one can handle this, one enter into samadhi, such as in anapanasati or any Taoist, real Taoist cultivations. Okay? So this is the entire of the Chinese, comprehensive Chinese martial arts, milestones and the core elements. So people sometimes they go this and then they go this path too, especially for those who is weak and sick. Not everybody can go from here. Today we see in like in MMA and in other martial art, it just start from here up. This is some take care of this, some don't take care of this breathing part. Well, not everybody can do that. Not every age can do that. Today's sports science, we know that. If your body cannot do it, you cannot do it. And also you need recovery, sports science, right? So this part is for, if you want recovery, at least you have to have this deep rest state. You'll be able to get to the deep rest to recover, let the body healing. Now how about people who are weaker? Body is sick. Well, that's why the 6 healing sound, all the manage of the internal organs come into play, which is in here. By the way, this picture I put it in the link at the bottom of this video, so you can have a look if you cannot see here. So if one is very weak when one was young or one was old, one start with this Shaolin document, 6 healing sound going in. If one want to get up from here, one go through the 6 healing sounds too, because one need to handle one's body before one can go here or go here. That is the part today's MMA, today's Western martial and everything doesn't have. Okay? It is a comprehensive handling of the human system. So this is what in the traditional Chinese martial art, if you go back to 300 years and you want to learn a full, comprehensive traditional Chinese martial art, you can expect this. And again, today, for whatever Xi Xiaodong do is only here, above. You have to admit that they have that. Like the MMA have that training, but this part, they don't. Now, we know what it is already, okay? Look into the fighting strategy. Today's MMA strategy have more comprehensive technical training and proficiency compared with whatever you share, you see in Chinese martial art today. Take Wing Chun. Wing Chun. Today's Wing Chun is only partial of the mid-level strategy of the 3 strategy, because you stand there, you walk into the linear. Again, that's not my definition. That's Chinese, traditional Chinese martial art definition. So if you don't have a complete thing, admit it. That's why, is that sound familiar? People going to study BJJ, studying boxing. Why? Because it doesn't have the full coverage of the 3 fighting strategy. It doesn't have the proficiency. So you cannot face people like Xi Xiaodong who have that training of the 3 level of strategy in the Chinese term, MMA. You know what type of weapon against what type of weapons. What counter what. That's the reality. And of course there's uniqueness. A Kyokushin low sweep and the fighting strategy will be different than Thai boxer. Both are good, but they have uniqueness, the proficiency in what they are doing. If you don't have that level, what are you going to fight? Look at all these Tai Chi guys who try to fight Xi Xiaodong. Where are they in this here? You know right away, there's no way you can fight, period. Stop it. And what to prove? If you're really a grandmaster, be in MMA, like Xi Xiaodong, anything, you look at this. That's why I look at those Santa people in China, the grandmaster and all those things, who have big name. You look at this, analyze, you see, you know that you cannot fight. You just can say, okay, both sides cool down. Don't do it. If you want to go fight like Mike Tyson or Ali, whatever, there's a commercial stuff. But when you mess around with Chinese culture, I'm guarantee your name is going to go down to the tube in Chinese history. Because in today's world, hey, not everybody is idiot or under your control. This is democratic world, people protect by law, okay? Nobody can monopolize stuff. So, you look at that, all this fighting on Xi Xiaodong and the Tai Chi guy, it's just ridiculous. If you're really grandmaster, you look at that, you say, just a simple analysis like that, you say, okay, he cannot fight. So if he cannot fight, you still want to fight him, that's called bullying. And then if one cannot fight and one still want to thinking one is the invincible, that's called idiot, okay? So if you want to have a bullying act or idiot act, please go somewhere else. Don't touch the traditional Chinese martial art culture. That's your own personal stuff. It got nothing to do with traditional Chinese martial art. So here in this channel, we talk about culture. This is what it is. Okay? Now, turn it back. You look back in the past 100 years. You said Dan Tian. Everybody talk about this energy, internal energy, Fa Jing Dan Tian. Can you please tell me where are you here? Where are you here? You keeping talking about my grandmaster in past 100 years have this special internal martial art and so forth. Can you please tell me what here in this page? And I can tell you every details here, proven by evidence, the ancient scripture. And if you want to get here, you look at those scientific study of yoga, the Indian yoga, you know it's here. And disregard of it is Indian, it is Chinese, it is American, it is Indonesians, it is German. We are human. Because human, we follow that rule. So tell me, where is your Xing Qi to Dan Tian? You go ask for 10 people, 10 people will tell you different Xing Qi of Dan Tian. So tell me where it is. What do you train? You want to fight the MMA guy? Where are you? Where are you in this map? What the MMA at least cover from this fully, very solidly. You need to admit that. Like people like Xi Xiaodong train this fully. They know their stuff. You have to give that credit. See, technically it's like that. And if you guys Tai Chi guy, internal Wing Chun guy, where the hell are you in this location? What do you train? If you don't even know where you are, how the world are you going to fight the MMA guy? Just face it. What are you facing technically? You talk about this mind power. Like in Wing Chun, mind power, Xiu Lim Tai, mind power. Are you out of your mind? Those are just a small part of the neuromuscular proficiency. Okay? You talk about structure, my spine power. Can you handle people with the well-trained muscular endurance and cardio endurance? The guy who every day in and out playing with the tractor wheel, you know, the wheel of the tractor tire. Like you see the MMA guy, you know, doing that, the Kyokushin doing that, smash the tire and everything. Western boxer doing that. So if you just doing some neuromuscular proficiency like mind, you just have to pay attention to your hand, or I want to be soft. The most you can get is muscular proficiency. Neuromuscular proficiency. Do you have the neuro endurance and cardio endurance to do the job of this? Do you? Or using yi, not using strength? Well, that's good for neuromuscular proficiency training. But do you train this? That's why when Xi Xiaodong defeat those Tai Chi guy in a few seconds, you can predict that. Yet in the ancient Chinese, the ancestor didn't do that, didn't say that. It is the entire thing. I mapped it for you in today's language. Okay? You think your structure training can handle the full functional training and the three strategy or today's MMA training? You think standing in 一级抗苗嘛 playing your 小龙头 and you believe so you will be able to play magic to handle this? 450 years ago, General Xizhuang already found out what is the truth. You want to talk about internal? Have you get into here? The mind and breathing synchronizations, the 6 healing sound, handling of the internal organs, or even the deep recovery. Well, over here you can always track by your SpO2, your heart rate variability, your breathing rates. Go try it. Over here, you always can track with your VO2 max, your strength loading, your power, because you can measure your strength and the speed. Strength multiplied by speed is power, and then your momentum. How much your inputs you can exert. So where is those internal stuff? What internal? So in the past 100 years or so, 90 years, since Grandmaster Xi Xiaodong, Grandmaster Ma Li Tang, we can read in the history. This is the picture people know. Those people know 100 years ago. And then you have this gap. And then you have this movie. And today's, you have bits and partial stuff, fragmented stuff here. And you claim it as internal. Internal martial arts. Your push hand, your chi sao. It's just a part of this thing. Did your push hand and chi sao train muscular endurance and cardio endurance, or is just for the muscular proficiency? Does your inch punch demonstrations or get your student to push train the entire thing, or just something here? Did you get into here? If you want to talk about mind power, get into the mind and breathing synchronizations. You want to talk about mindfulness, you better get into the above the level of mind breathing synchronizations. You want to talk about internal, you better be able to clear out your internal organs per the ancient, not per Hendrix, okay? This is, I don't create this. This is not my opinion. This is not my guessing. This is based on what exactly is the ancient, and now you map into today's language and today's sports science. You look at that, it is hopeless to fight Xi Xiaodong. You know, technically, and I really sincerely hope that Xi Xiaodong know this, have seen this video. Technically, he is capable, better than those other people who's internal art and all those things. And so stop it, or if they want to fight the challenge or whatever, carry on. Don't use the name of exposing the fake traditional Chinese martial arts. So what is traditional Chinese martial arts? This is traditional Chinese martial arts. And I also hope that those fans of Xi Xiaodong watch this and know, if you are not proficient or professional in studying all this thing, shut up. Don't be just there talking bad about Chinese culture and just try to get many more and more fans and get more money, okay? Because you are screwing up your Chinese culture. See, I'm not Chinese, I'm American. Like everybody is saying, you know what, Bruce Lee is American, Bruce Lee is not Chinese, so I live in America, I'm American. So your Chinese culture, if you want to screw it up, that's your problem. However, in the West, we're going to preserve this, we're going to grow this, because there's a lot of good people in the West will grow this. The world is like a village, everybody live together, okay? And also those Santa, Grandmaster or whatever, fine, you're a good fighter. But culture is culture. If you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know this, then you don't know. It doesn't matter what type of Santa you create or anything. Why? Being the Chinese, Wen Tianxiang, the Prime Minister in the Song Dynasty said, it doesn't matter. What is proper is what is proper. We write down in the history. Okay? the prime minister of Song Dynasty was captured by the at that time the northern invader. Okay, so he was put in prison. He still not accept the offer for him to join them and so forth. He said, well, what is truth? I have to say what is truth. So this is to share with everybody, for those who really care, those who really want to get result in their training. Please go do research. Don't play scholar on what we don't know. Because if it's your business, my business, we do this and that, no, there's ours. If we lost, we gain, there's ours. But when we mess around with culture, you mess around with millions of people's inheritance. In today's world, this is 2020, almost 2021. Are we still that idiotic to do those kind of stuff? Do you think anybody can get away from that? Of course not, right? So now, asking the questions. You say internal Wing Chun, where internal is? Do you get into this? The Pali terms of the mindfulness and above for all this is ekagata. Have you get into the ekagata state? You say you are Wing Chun, your Xiu Lim Tao is mindful, mind power. Have you get to ekagata? If you say you are internal, your qi, your everything, have you get into the Xin Xi Xiang Yi, the mind-breathing synchronized state? Do you know what it is? Can you prove it with the SpO2, with your breathing, with your heart rate variability, like the yoga expert or the guru, which is in the scientific study, research? And what is this got to do with here? What is this got to do with here? Are you going to train this and then you're saying that, oh, I'm the best fighter in the world. Okay, you train this, you don't have to going through muscular endurance and cardio endurance. And you just do something like using yi, not using strength to help some neuromuscular. Yet you don't have this training, you don't have the full functional trainings. That you'll be defeat all these people here. Are you watching too much Hong Kong movie or what? So I know many will hate me for today's language, this presentations. But it has to, somebody have to say something, right? So I take the dirty job to say it. Somebody might want to challenge me to fight. Sorry, I'm not in the fighting. I'm nobody, okay? I'm no grandmaster, I'm nobody, I don't have school. I just tell you this is the ancient evidence. If you don't like it, go back to the history and change it. Okay? Disregard who you are, go back in the history and change it. Or learn to have a cultural evolution, the entire world, wipe out the entire Chinese culture. But if you can, you're still subject to this. Period. It is not me, it is this. Okay? And same with the Wing Chuners. You want to make Wing Chun better? I know there's a lot of people care for that. Now you see the big picture. Change it, improve it.